It's your boy Kyle the Kid and Mega the Boy, and we are back with Talk Sports with your boys. Yes, sir.
Europe. Hey, before we move forward, I would like to make an announcement. From this point up until the point where Miami Heat win the championship, I want to be known as Miami Heat the Boy. So when we come in, we do the Talk Sports and we introduce ourselves. Miami Heat the Boy. So we could do it again.
And action.
Correct.
It's your boy Kyle the Kid and Miami Heat the Boy, and we are back with another episode of Talk Sports with
Yes,
your boys.
sir. Conference Finals, baby. I've been saying this whole year. Have I not been saying this the whole year? Just give me my props, bro.
Props given.
Okay, I've been saying this whole year. Before the Rona, before the breakage, I like the Heat gonna mess around and go to the conference final. And boy, did they mess around and go to the conference finals.
Is that like a hot take or like you?
No hot take.
Or you seen them like go to the conference finals or something?
I mean, they're in the conference finals now.
Okay.
But I've seen it before, way before.
Most definitely. The Miami Heat, since the first time since 2014, are in the conference finals. I mean, you just busted the window through that. I mean, no introduction, no nothing like that.
That's an introduction.
All right, yeah.
Matter of fact, conference final the boy, not Miami Heat the boy. Conference final the boy, because everybody knows Miami Heat the boy. So don't just mean Miami Heat the boy. Conference final the boy. There you go.
Okay, no doubt. Conference finals the boy.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. So, yes, if you've been keeping up with our Talk Sports with the boys, it's been a couple of weeks due to certain circumstances that we haven't gotten a chance to do another episode of Talk Sports with your boys, but we are here, finally back with it. Since then, the Eastern Conference semis and Western Conference semis has begun to where, well, for some and finished. For the Miami Heat, Milwaukee Bucks, Toronto Raptors, Celtics, Lakers, Houston, and Denver, and the Clippers. Okay, and most recently last night we had the Heat versus the Milwaukee Bucks.
True, that happened.
And the Los Angeles Lakers versus the Houston Rockets.
That happened too.
2 games last night. And we're going to get into those games. We're going to go ahead and watch some of the highlights. If you guys already didn't know, the Miami Heat have eliminated the Milwaukee Bucks 4-1 to go on to the conference finals. If he hasn't made that abundantly clear as of yet.
I was kind of mad, though. I wanted a sweep. But I know Milwaukee wasn't going to go out like that. You know, they were too good of a team to get swept. But I was kind of upset.
You know, ain't nothing wrong with a little gentleman sweep.
Yeah.
I tweeted that out after the game last night. We'll take a gentleman sweep.
Yeah.
And
Boston. Okay, it looked like Boston might win this series.
And then the Lakers are up 2-1 against the Houston Rockets, and we'll be watching some of those highlights. And then towards the end, give our prediction for the final series of Boston versus the Raptors and Clippers versus the Denver Nuggets. You know, who we think are going to end off in those series as ending up winning. So, yes, sir, we're going to get into this right now. This is the Miami Heat versus the Milwaukee Bucks highlights. Let's go ahead and take a look. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get into the Miami Heat versus the Milwaukee Bucks. All right, we're going to check that out. Yes, sir, let's go. Let's see what's going on. I had the pleasure of watching this game myself. I'm going to say it didn't start off too great.
I was kind of upset.
Dante DiVincenzo, you know, he's coming into his own in this league. He had a pretty good game last night.
The Bucks are doing tonight as Dragic gets his first to go of the evening. Better find by Middleton. Taking a screen.
You know, one of Jimmy Butler's 6 shot attempts.
I love Jimmy, bro, but we get the concept, Jimmy. You don't have to score 40 points for us to win, but sometimes give us a 40 piece. That's it.
Wesley Matthews had a good game, too, defensively and offensively.
That was kind of clean. I ain't going to cap. Stop playing with Jimmy, still a bucket. Is that Iggy with the sticky?
Iggy was getting it into the mix for sure last
Marvin.
night.
I heard Marvin quit at halftime. Retired at halftime.
Nah, if you tried after the game, he didn't pull Vontae Davis.
No, but he told the coaches that this might be my last game though.
Yeah, he definitely knew. I must say, Kyle Korver been coming alive for them this series.
Too bad they dead.
Yeah. Yeah, Dragic had worked for that one right there. He worked for that one right there. That man's so crafty. And then second quarter, that's when we came alive.
Yeah, was it like 33-18, right?
Yeah.
Or 33-18?
Quarter, yeah. But
Not Tyler,
hero ball.
our hero. He ain't a rookie. Kendrick.
He's starting to get back into the rotation, getting back in the mix.
He didn't play the first series at all. He started playing to get a little bit in the second series. Well, this is the second series. He started playing to get a little bit in the second series, and now he's getting back into the rhythm.
They didn't play him the first series because he had just came back from the COVID and he had personal issues he had to attend to, so he wasn't in shape. But now they're working him back in, and he had a pretty solid showing for us yesterday. So that'll be good to see. We're gonna need all of that and more for the next series. The thing with Chris Middleton, I wouldn't say he had a bad game. I seen somebody say this. They were using him like he's Charles Barkley. They were using him like he's that number one option scorer that you can just give to get a bucket.
Yeah.
And he ended up going 8 for 24. He's not that guy.
No, he's not at all.
They should have did more San Antonio Spurs option offense and move the ball around
And get him open shots.
and get him open shots, and then occasionally have him go to work.
Yeah.
They were trying to make him go to work too much.
What is the next step for Milwaukee? Because they were the number one seed two seasons in a row. Giannis himself could get better. You know, create a reliable post game. Obviously, the jump shot, mid range. Start with the mid range. You don't even have to start hitting threes. Start with the mid range. Get a consistent mid range shot where you can stop and pull up, where you can keep the defense honest. But what's next for Milwaukee though?
The crazy thing is, I think Giannis actually got better from last year to this year. But
I think his decision making got better.
But their team did not get better. They lost their shooting.
Malcolm Brogdon.
Malcolm Brogdon. I believe they lost Nikolai Mirotic. They lost Ersan Ilyasova. So they lost their shooting. And in that case, with Malcolm Brogdon, Kelly Olynyk was playing good last night. With Malcolm Brogdon, they lost another playmaker. You see what he was doing for Indiana, 27, 30 points here and there.
And they could really use Malcolm.
They could have used that for sure. They could use that for sure. So I feel like on top of Giannis getting better, they need to add another playmaker. I'm hearing Chris Paul could be a suitor for them. Or they could be a suitor for Chris Paul.
Chris Paul have one more year left on his deal, right? After this year?
That I'm not too sure, but to whether he doesn't or they have to take upon that contract to win NBA championships.
Chris Paul would have been
money
great.
Regardless.
Would have been great for them this year. Now I don't know if that would have helped. That would have made them get to the conference finals. Because obviously we played them hard. But just having a playmaker beside Giannis that can create shots and keep the defense honest, that would have been big for them. Even after Giannis went out, they didn't have to keep trying to give Chris Middleton the ball and trying to make him become.
I think they need to up their shooting. Like I said, they lost their shooters, and this year's team was not better than last year's team. But I feel like Giannis got better. But at the same, he still has levels that he needs to go to. But they could have did stuff to help Giannis out this year, surrounded him with more shooting. Granted, Tyler was gaming, Iggy was gaming.
He ain't gonna do that. Oh, okay.
No, he gonna do some of that right there.
I love down, bro.
He was active. But yeah, I feel like they just need to surround him with more shooting and playmaking as he develops his game. Brook Lopez is playing big too. He was playing big yesterday for them offensively. I ain't gonna lie, I thought Chris Middleton was gonna start turning up when he hit that shot right there, and he kind of did in a way. That was a big shot by Dragic right there. That made me calm down a little bit.
Goran a killer, man.
And then he hit that shot right there. I thought he was gonna start heating up. Like I said, he can get you those buckets, but don't go to him every possession by possession. That's what I mean by saying he was playing big. He was Goran again.
Goran a killer, man. Woo,
He got him that bucket right there, but when he needed that, he was playing big for them.
Versatility, their athleticism, they're well coached.
And that's all she wrote.
But yeah, man. Miami Heat were able to bring it home. It's not the exact closeout game I wanted for the Heat. As far as
Hold up. It said there's a report that just came out that says the Clippers are planning to pursue. That could happen.
Yeah, I
Get Paul George out of there.
We could touch on that in a moment as well. What?
No, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, we can touch on that in a moment as well. When it comes to Miami, of course we closed out the game, but not the closeout game I wanted it. I wanted to more impose our will on them.
Yeah.
Just to, send a clear-cut message
To
with
Boston,
without
the
Giannis.
Raptors.
With Giannis, it didn't matter. You guys may be playing overall individually without Giannis, but it just doesn't matter. And to let whoever wins out of the Boston and the Toronto Raptors series, we're waiting and we're ready.
Yeah.
But at the same time, this was a game, besides the first quarter, that Milwaukee was never really in control. They had spurts of, showing some life. But, after the first quarter, I don't think anybody really got the indication that Milwaukee had a chance of winning this game.
It's the thing. It's all about momentum.
Mm-hmm.
Even when they were up, right? Okay, they were up. And then once second quarter came, they lost some momentum. Yeah. And even though they were ahead for a little bit, it felt like they was always playing from behind. And it's never good to play from behind. Like, okay, you hit a bucket, then we hit a bucket, you hit a bucket. It's like, damn, we're wasting all this energy.
I mean, at this point, they're down 3-1.
It's playing from behind regardless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to play anti. You can't play comfortable.
Yeah.
I mean, with a lead, you should never play comfortable, but,
There's no breaks.
Yeah. But I think, overall, I mean, they had a sloppy game. Miami had like 20-plus turnovers. Jimmy had like 5 turnovers. I'm seeing kind of like non-characteristics of like,
Bam.
Jimmy, Bam, Bam, he's always passive, but I'm seeing too much hot potato from him. Mm-hmm. The last time we played Boston, he was very aggressive, got to the foul line, had 17 attempts. Mm-hmm. I think we're going to need to do that if Boston isn't true the team that's going to go to the conference finals, which kind of looks like it is.
Yeah, I think
they'll
close it out next. Okay.
We need Bam to be more aggressive, but still play his game. Jimmy, he makes a point of saying that he plays basketball the way it's supposed to be, as taking what the defense gives him, mm-hmm. which, when you see nights like him having 6 shots, making 4 out of 6 and 8 for 8 from the free throw line and 10 rebounds, I understand what he means. But at the same time, Jimmy, sometimes, you have to take what they don't give you at the same time as well, because you're that good of a player. And at times there is going to be times you're going to need that from him. And I think he knows that. Mm-hmm. I think his confidence is so much into his guys that, he's going to let Tyler do Tyler and Goran do Goran. But I definitely think in the next series, I think Jimmy's going to have to kick it into that next level more times than not. Mm-hmm. But can't really say too much negative as far as the Heat. They closed it out.
Before we go to the next team, I'm big on being drafted to the right team, right? Being drafted to the right organization, mm-hmm. because there's a lot of players, football, basketball, doesn't matter what sport, that get drafted to the wrong organization. Mm-hmm. Not necessarily a bad organization like New York Knicks or something like that, but they just get drafted to the wrong organization.
It's like a point guard getting drafted to the Golden State Warriors.
Or a guard, period. It's like you get drafted. Tyler Hero is the epitome of that, because Tyler Hero is drafted to Miami. He's playing with Jimmy, who's giving him the utmost confidence. The coaches have a lot of confidence in him, which is a little different from what Miami Heat is used to, because they usually don't favor the rookies, but they giving him the go. You know, you give him confidence to Kendrick Nunn's, giving them confidence to do what they do. So I think this is the epitome of getting drafted to the right organization. That's why a lot of players want to go top 10, top 5, top 4. I understand it for the money aspect, but you just want to go to the right team.
Tyler went 13 and he fell into
the right team. Bam, went 13 and fell to you're 13, right? Or 12, something like that.
Yeah,
went to the right team, which is Miami. I mean, it's not a common denominator. I'm not saying Miami is the right for everybody.
No, definitely not right for everybody.
But cause if you ain't a worker, you ain't a worker. You ain't gonna fit here. But it's good that he went to Miami, man.
For sure. And yeah, man. But Milwaukee's kind of a sad case, I would say.
Budenholzer out of there.
We spoke yesterday after the game, and you kind of alluded to Budenholzer being out of there. But the reason why I can't just say that just yet is because at the same time, he's guided them to 2 straight #1 seeds in the East. Now, granted, 2 straight years in a row, they've lost.
The best record 2 times in a row.
2 straight years in a row, they've lost. After being up 2, they lost 4 games, which is basically you lose 4 games in a row to a team.
You got swept.
You got swept, basically.
And they pretty much got swept.
And so it's not a good look on Budenholzer. It shows that, is he able to make adjustments for the playoffs? Because, I mean, they didn't struggle with Orlando, but they weren't showing to be themselves that we know them throughout the season.
We talked about it too, that series. I'm like, I didn't expect for them to lose.
No.
But they weren't imposing their will. And it's all about confidence, because if you impose your will on Orlando, nobody expects for you to lose against Orlando. But it's just the way that you're playing. The next team that you're going to play, now they have their guard up. It's like, bro, what's going to happen to us? Like, you feel me? Like, we really got to bring our A game. And I feel like going into this, I don't think Miami was scared.
Well, they could have dominated Orlando. Miami wasn't going to be scared just off their prior. Just off of their prior.
But I don't think they was like, oh, we in for something that we can't, like, we have to really prepare for. I mean, obviously they prepared, but it's like, ooh, like, we really have to prepare for this. I don't think that was the mindset.
No, not at all. And that's Mike Budenholzer. He's going to have to answer for his adjustments. I've seen a lot of analysts say last year Toronto put up a wall against Giannis.
And you knew that was the game plan coming.
You knew Miami was going to put up a wall. They played you a couple times before, and they did the same thing. Where was your game plan for that?
Yeah, they played them 4 times this year. I mean, or
3 times. 3 times before the playoffs.
3 times.
2 times they won, and they played them again in the bubble. And after coming back from a 19-point lead, Milwaukee ended up winning.
They played you this. You know that's how they was gonna play you. So you tell me you had no adjustments after game 1? You had no adjustments. You had 7 games to adjust to the way they play Giannis. The three games in the regular season and
the 3 games that they lost.
Yeah.
In the beginning.
It's like you had 6 games and you couldn't adjust.
So that's what it comes down to. But great coaches are not just out on trees.
No.
So it comes down to a serious conversation of the GM of Milwaukee, Giannis, and Budenholzer. Giannis taking upon himself. I'm hearing a lot of people talk about his personality, his demeanor, more passive, more a person to listen to the coach. But Giannis, you're a 2-time MVP. Well, seemingly about to be 2-time MVP, not official as of yet. And now Defensive Player of the Year. You can't allow your legacy to be fully in the coach's hands. You need to be more vocal in the off-season process. You need to be more vocal of how you're think
the star of the team.
The team should be built around you and play around you.
Superstar of the team.
Like, you're about to get offered super max money, $250 million over 4 or 5 years or whatever the case may be. So if Milwaukee is a place where you indeed to be the next couple of years or whatever the case may be, you need to be more vocal so you don't find yourself in the next position, the same position next year. As you mentioned, the Clippers have now shown interest. How and what that will work?
Yeah, it worked.
I'm not too exactly sure.
Milwaukee don't want to lose Giannis for no reason, right? Paul George gets shipped over to Milwaukee. You bring Giannis in to play with Kawhi. You feel me? You probably bring Brook Lopez time over there to, woody whoop. Paul George go to Milwaukee. Milwaukee get a solid player. You feel me?
What are you talking about?
What? Milwaukee don't want to lose.
You said Milwaukee get a solid player. Who the solid player?
Paul George.
You said a solid player.
He's the next player.
He's an elite player. He's an all-star.
He's cool.
He's
Yeah.
a star in this league.
No, he's solid player. What? Am I saying what have he done for me to say he's a star or elite player in the league beside being Paul George? Pandemic George.
Paul George is a star in this league, Mega.
Yes, and you're not listening to me. Listen.
But you said what has he done for you to say that he's an elite player or a star player?
He's cool. He's a solid player. So being that being said, Milwaukee could, if Giannis do want to leave, I don't know yet. If Giannis do want to leave, they could trade him to Clippers, and Paul George will have a 3-year deal.
How do you know the Clippers don't have the intentions of getting Giannis, Paul George, and Kawhi?
So who they gonna give up? Well, Montrez, you probably gonna get Montrez. You give up.
Well, this is all based off of what Giannis does this year. He doesn't have to sign a contract.
True, he could just sign.
Yeah, and then next year, the year after that, whatever case me.
He could just sign a deal with.
If he's gonna be a free agent, the year after this year coming up, so he doesn't have to sign.
If Giannis is gonna do that, why do that and go join Clippers when you could join the Miami Heat? Well, you just see what they do to you see what they do to people. You see what they do to people.
Well, there's other suitors for him. They have the Toronto.
I can see Toronto, but
you have the Masai Ujiri.
Kyle Lowry, 35 years old. Patrick Siakam, he cool, but he almost 30. I mean, yeah, whatever. And then go to Miami.
Pascal Siakam almost really 30.
He's like 27 years old, bro. Google it. I'm not tripping. He's like 27 years old. He's like one of them late bloomers. He was like a 27-year-old rookie, bro. He's like a Pablo Pigioni and stuff. he cool.
But you know Pablo Pigioni was like almost 40, right? He's a rookie.
I said he's like a Pablo. I didn't say he is. Like, yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, Kyle Lowry, 35. It's nah.
Let's see how old
even though Masai Ujiri prove himself that he could make stuff work.
He's 26. He'll be 27 next year, in April.
But
you acting like he's in. Like
he's been in for 2 years.
Yeah.
Come on. I like Pascal, but he pretty much at the ceiling, bro. He's pretty much there. Like at 27, you don't get that much more better, bro.
If you started playing basketball late, Mega.
All right, go ahead, bro.
Anywho, yeah. So Toronto seems to be a possible suitor for him. I'm hearing Davis. What?
Dallas?
Dallas got to give up.
No, Dallas cool. No, Dallas cool too. Nah, they definitely have to give us something to get him. They only got 2 players that like it's notable.
That's if he gets traded.
Yeah, I understand. But if it's any inkling of him, unless Milwaukee gonna do the whole what was it? Indiana? No, was it Indiana? No, San Antonio, where they held on to. No, San Antonio traded him.
San Antonio traded Kawhi. Are you talking about the Anthony Davis?
Anthony Davis. Anthony got traded.
So what are you trying? Are you talking about a trade?
Unless they're gonna just let him. Kevin Durant. There we go. Kevin Durant. Unless they're gonna bite the bullet and have him walk away, then they could do that. But if not, you're gonna have to make a trade and get something back. Nobody's gonna go to Milwaukee, bro. Paul George proved to you that he'll sign if he's liking it there. So trade for Paul George. Let him go over there. Even though I want him to go to Miami, but let Paul George finish his career in Milwaukee, man.
Okay, so that being said,
He deserve it.
So since you start talking about trades and things like that, Miami's gonna have to give up something too, right?
Yeah.
Who?
We got Kendrick Nunn. I love Kendrick Nunn, but we got Kendrick Nunn, the Kelly Olynyk's.
Uh-huh.
I don't care what they got. Bam is not going nowhere. Tyler not going nowhere. Get Duncan Robinson. You need shooting.
You let go Duncan.
Yeah, Duncan could go. I love Duncan, but Duncan can go. But Tyler Hero, Bam, and Jimmy is off limits. Oh, future first round pick like 2045 and stuff. Because for the next 10 years, we done. We get Giannis, we done. We ain't got to worry about it. But 2045, 2046, there we go.
Okay. All right. So now we're going to go ahead and check out the Los Angeles Lakers versus the Houston Rockets. Check out those highlights and see what's going on with that. Los Angeles Lakers did end up winning that game to make the series 2-1. So let's take a look at this right now. See what's going on. Yeah, Russell Westbrook started off the game, had a better game in general than he has in the last 4 games. He started stinking it up since he came back against the OKC Thunder. So we had a Russell Westbrook sighting, finally.
That would have been sick. Daniel House.
With the two-handed jab, seen Miami take down Milwaukee, and a 5 seed advancing over the 1 seed into the Eastern Conference.
LeBron came out smoking, came out gunning.
On the small ball. And it's been something to watch.
Big body.
Little fade away, gets it to go.
I want to say this, and I don't want to seem disrespectful, because Houston has 2 MVPs, right? But why people be talking about Houston Rockets like they have a chance of beating the Lakers?
Because they just want to see LeBron lose. You know how I feel about Houston. Matter of fact, Houston got to make a move this offseason. Somebody getting fired, somebody getting traded. Now, unfortunately, it's usually the coach that get fired first. I mean, what you gonna fire Mike D'Antoni and bring in who, whatever. Well, at least for the style of play that James Harden, whatever it can be. So Mike D'Antoni probably getting fired this offseason. It can't be Daryl Morey because the man tried everything. He brings in stars. He changed rotations. Like he brings in people. So it can't be him. So it's gonna be Mike D'Antoni. But after that, when they realize that's still not gonna work, what they gonna do next? That mean James Harden gonna get traded or something?
You be talking foolishness, but
What you gonna do? Unless they gonna take my advice from a couple episodes ago and just be competitive, be exciting, be a regular season team, but don't expect nothing more.
It's not even about them. I'm just saying, like LeBron had 29 points at the half. We about to see some of that, right there. And I texted you, and I was just like, I sent you a screenshot, and I was like, this is what I mean when I say it's LeBron. It's LeBron. Like, I don't remember if you remember when he was struggling in the beginning of the bubble and in the beginning against Portland. And I was saying, I understand your concern, but I was like, it's LeBron. And until he shows me he's not the best player in the league no more, that's all I'm going to have to say when he doesn't have a good game. It's LeBron. He's not losing to no James Harden. If LeBron had 29 points, he ended the game at 36. That means he only had 7 points in the second half. That's by the. He was doing one of them Jimmy Butler's things, taking what the defense give him, or whatever the case may be. LeBron James does not have 20 points in the first half, and they're only 7 points. If he's being passive, he's 4 for 15, or whatever the case may be, he just don't got it offensively. His efforts, his powers are going towards other things at that time, where it may end up in the team losing. But that man right there, that kid from Akron, I got faith in him. He gonna have to show me something different for me to discredit him or make me think that a James Harden-led team can knock him out of the playoffs. And then after that, I can't say LeBron the best player in the league no more.
Ron been shooting his ass off too. Well, his shot got way better.
Well, yeah, this game, he was a factor shooting the ball. And that just had to be for, career development. After a while, I don't care how good you can pass the ball, you won't have a spot in this league no more. Houston going to have to do something if the excuse was they couldn't get past the best team. And one may say the Lakers may be the best team, but come on. Now, I hate trying to take away from James Harden's greatness because there was a lot of great players to Michael Jordan's era, and you could probably even say Kobe's era, even though he shared that era with San Antonio, that didn't win championships because of who they went against. And at one point, KD suffered from that. I'm going to say Melo suffered from LeBron, but KD suffered at a point until he joined up with Golden State. Paul George suffered from that so far. DeMar DeRozan in Toronto. And I think James Harden is going to be a victim by his circumstances. He had to go against Golden State, And LeBron. Twice in his career. You know, early in OKC. Now in Houston. And it's no shame in that. You know, Charles Barkley.
Yeah, a lot of people. Yeah.
Charles Barkley, one of the most dominant players of his time. Couldn't get over the hump because
kept running into Mike.
He ran into Mike. Karl Malone. Top 2 power forward of all time.
A lot of people don't have championship rings because of Michael Jordan, and a lot of people don't have championship rings because of LeBron James.
So it's like, it just comes down to one of those things. There's no reason to even say too much about James Harden. Like, eventually, like, me personally, I never thought James Harden was the best player in the league.
No.
I never thought that he was the player to bring you a championship.
No.
At least not the way that Houston has, because it's hard to say a scorer like that. And I've always known or realized that James Harden has the ability to play defense when he wants to. But the way they play, the way that team is constructed, and the fact that he's not LeBron James, he's James Harden. He's a different James. You know? Isn't it Charles Barkley? Karl Malone. He'll be remembered like that. But way better because of his scoring ability, you know. Generational scoring talent.
Who could get traded?
I don't even know who they traded. I think they have to worry about adding people. Adding a mobile big.
At this point, they're gonna have to add Jesus at the point guard, and they're gonna have to add God at the big man position, because they done added everybody they could add. Everybody. At this point, they add any more people, they're gonna have an all-star team.
They done tried to go with the conventional big man. They done tried to go with a new age big man and Clint Capella, who, you know.
So you saying they need a Brook Lopez?
Somebody to stretch the floor. Somebody who can help with the small ball. Not necessarily Brook Lopez. Like, I heard you say something about Blake Griffin. I think even though it's Blake Griffin, I'm saying somebody like him would help that team more. He can shoot threes. He likes shooting threes. Blake Griffin is a pretty good three-point shooter at this stage of his career. And then he can also, you go down low, he can get rebounds for you down low too. You know, Robert Covington and the Daniel Houses and the PJ Tuckers. Okay, I understand what you guys are doing. But no, Russell Westbrook and James Harden, I don't know if that duo is the best duo. But at the end of the day, it's 2 MVPs. Figure it out. And now I say all that to say is, they still won't win no championship.
No, I was trying to see where you were getting with this one. Yeah,
but it's just sad to see. No. It's just sad to see.
It is what it is.
But I expect the Lakers, honestly, to
close this out. Yeah. Close this out without them getting another W.
Yeah.
I second that. Realistically.
And I must say, if they do close it out 4-1, Mike D'Antoni getting fired.
he out of there.
He ain't stand a chance.
It don't matter if he get fired. All right, 4-2.
Nah.
4-3.
4-3, he's still in there. Maybe. But 4-1? I wouldn't be surprised in the exit interviews, like, you know how they do it post-game, if the owner, I forgot his name, come out and say...
nah, but you don't got to finish this, bro. Let's go.
No, not even that. When they ask him, like, you know, how do you feel about the season? Well, you know, it's what it is. What about Mike D'Antoni's future?
He's out of there.
Yeah, he won't be joining us back. Type of thing.
On some, what's the dude from, the GM when Michael Jordan was playing?
Oh. Yeah.
You
said about Phil Jackson.
Yeah, he won't be coming back next year. This will be his last year. This man said a whole season before the season was over, this will be his last year coaching. That is crazy, but yeah, that's what's about to happen.
Yeah. So, shout out to Houston. But
I want to go to Houston. Shout out to that Houston, not the Rockets.
Okay.
Paul George. They could add Paul George, make it more of a non-beatable team. I mean, very beatable team, I should say. Not beatable.
Can I ask you a problem?
I don't have no problem with Paul George, bro.
What is your problem with Paul George?
I don't have no problem with Paul George.
He seems not to have your respect.
He does. He have your respect?
Yeah, he's a top 15 player in this league.
Okay.
Is he not a top 15 player in this league?
He's a cool player. I don't know. I think I can name 15 people better than Paul George. Not better. Not gonna say Paul George could ball. That's not what I'm talking
Are you
about.
trying to say like more dependable or something?
Yeah, more dependable than Paul George. I can name 15. I can name 15.
But you can name 15 people that you rather have on your team than Paul George?
Let me tell you something. If I got somebody, this throw this down. This doesn't. I'm not saying this person is better than Paul George. That's not what I'm saying. If I could have a Tobias, just say Tobias because the first person that came out, Tobias Harris, right?
What the fuck are you talking about?
Just say Tobias Harris. I could use Chris Middleton. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who I throw out. But just say he gives me 15 points a game, right? But every game, I know I'm gonna get 15 to 16 points from this person, right? Would I rather have a Tobias? Just throwing Tobias. I'm not saying he's better or anything. Would I rather have a Tobias or have a Paul George who I know can give me 30, 40 a game, but I don't know if he's going to give it to me this game or the next game or the next game or the next game or the game after that or the game after that, or if he's going to have he's going to be depressed this game, he's going to have anxiety this game. What you want me to say? I'd rather be the guy get the guaranteed 16 than the non-guaranteed 30, 40, and instead of that, I get 6. I'm sorry. I'd rather do that. I'm not saying he's a very talented person. He's very talented. But that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, I'm gonna leave it at that. I don't agree, but that's another episode, another topic for another episode.
Why? What was your reason why you said Lakers is not gonna lose to the Clippers?
Because LeBron can't lose to Paul George.
Okay, and he lied. And right there, ladies and gentlemen, that was what episode is this? Doesn't matter. Episode whatever with Talk Sports with your boys. I made my point. You can wrap it up.
And to wrap it up real quickly.
Wrap it up.
Real quick. Toronto and Boston play tonight. You think Boston is going to...
Boston wrapping it up. Boston wrapping it up.
So that'll make what, 3-1?
I think 3-2 right now? No, yeah. There was
2-2.
2-2, and then Boston won.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now 3-2. So you think they close the series tonight?
That's over.
Okay. And then going on with the Clippers and the Nuggets, who do you expect to... You expect the Clippers to win out of that series, correct?
Yeah.
And
Denver won it tonight, though.
One thing, though. Jamal Murray.
Mm-hmm.
Real quick, I'm just look up his last game stats because I want to make sure I'm speaking accurately on Jamal Murray, who I like, by the way. He's not one of those things with Paul George or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Not what make me doing. Jamal Murray's last game, he had 14 points.
True.
And went 5 for 17.
Mm-hmm.
Clippers are up 2-1
Mm-hmm.
after that last game.
Mm-hmm.
The first game of the series, he had 12 and went 5 for 15.
Mm-hmm.
The second game, he had 27, went 10 for 21. Jamal Murray?
Are you comparing him to Paul George? Because you said something about Paul George. You said, I don't know who I like more. But Paul George is a superstar. He's an elite player.
I'm just saying his last 3 games before the Game 7 of the Utah series, he had 50, 42, and 50.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to find that Jamal Murray.
Mm-hmm.
Because 14 points.
Oh, you want him to be more dependable?
Yeah.
Okay. So you would rather
for them to have any chance of winning this series. And I seen, because this is what I don't like.
Mm-hmm. Paul George?
And I don't think nobody's trying to put Jamal Murray into that upper echelon of, elite guards as of yet. And I wouldn't. But when Dame Lillard was doing what he was doing, and Dame Lillard, he's long since gone home. He went home before everybody else went home because he had a knee injury. Y'all was trying to act like Dame Lillard, like, okay, whatever, blah, 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 blah. But when Jamal Murray was doing what Jamal Murray was doing, y'all acting like Dame Lillard wasn't doing the same exact thing. And it's always one of those things where y'all make me go harder on some players because y'all want to discredit other players. I'm just saying, Jamal Murray, step it up. Step it up. You were saying last series you balling for the brothers and all that.
Where that though? Brother's still around. They ain't going nowhere. Brother.
I'm still black.
Yeah. They give me very Paul George's vibes.
You don't got to be 50-40.
No.
14, and you're supposed to be the second best player on that team. You're the best scorer on that team. But Jokic is the best player.
Yeah.
So, step it up.
For now.
Step it up.
I think Michael Porter might be the best player. But for now, he still got to find his footing.
I can't argue with that. Michael Porter does have a promising future for sure. But, yeah, we're going to end it off like that.
Yep.
Shout out to the Houston Rockets. Shout out to Paul George.
Exactly.
Take it how you want to take it.
No,
And
I'm not shouting out Paul George. I'm shout out to the Houston Rockets. I'm not shouting out them either. Can you just wrap up the show? You right shouting out these people that don't need to be shouted out. What they did to be shouted out.
yeah, man, that concludes another episode of Talk Sports with your boys. It was fun being back with you guys. It's Kyle to get in Conference Finals, the boy.
You said it's called a what?
It's Kyle the kid.
Okay, what?
In Conference Finals, the boy.
Okay. All right.
Maybe thought I messed up or something.
You did. You said call to get it.
I said Kyle to get.
You did.
I must mouth this.
That's what I'm
episode.
saying. This boy needs some water or something. This boy need a.
I got my walk next to
That
me.
boy crazy.
It's Kyle the kid in Conference Finals, the boy.
Yes, sir.
And we out.
Get it!
Yes, sir.